Hello, this is Terry Lee, the Family and Consumer Science Educator from Craig County. Today, we are doing the October 2021 OHCE Leader Lesson entitled Managing Stress in Later Life. What is stress? We all have different ideas of what stress is. But what is the real definition? A common definition is physical, mental, or emotional strain or tension. Another definition is when a person perceives that demands exceed the personal and social resources the individual is able to mobilize. Disorders that are associated with stress include stomach ailments, tension headaches, high blood pressure, addiction, and really almost all diseases. Did you know that the 6 leading causes of death in North America are linked to stress? Heart disease, cancer, stroke, chronic lower respiratory diseases, accidents, and diabetes. So why is stress such a big problem? Half of the adults who reported having serious stress in their lives say that symptoms were serious enough to disrupt their lives to the point that they could not function well on a daily basis. Examples were poor sleep, relationship problems, and their productivity was compromised. Stress has become a huge challenge in our society and can have a substantial impact on quality of life and health. To prevent serious health problems due to stress, equip yourself with skills to help you during difficult times. There are 3 major types of stress, including routine stress, which include pressures from work, family, and just daily responsibilities. There's changes in your life, such as divorce, serious illness, loss of job. And then there's the trauma or crisis type of stress, when you are at risk of seriously being hurt or killed in an accident, a natural disaster, war, assault. This type of stress can also cause PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So is all stress bad for you? The answer is no. Having no stress at all does not make people happier or more successful. Sometimes stress can even help you prepare for challenges in your life. There is good stress and bad stress. Now, good stress is also known as acute stress. An example would be an increase in heart rate and perspiration before you give a presentation or take an exam that might help you succeed. It can inspire and motivate. Now, bad stress is also known as chronic stress. This is when situations are non-stopping. The body does not get a chance to relax or recover. This can cause constant tense muscles and other symptoms. The overall physical and mental health is affected if stress is not managed in a positive manner. So, not all stress is bad, and you can even have good stress. Let's take a look at this scenario. This is Tracy and her daughter on her daughter's wedding day. Let's determine if Tracy was experiencing acute good stress or chronic bad stress. Tracy is preparing for her daughter's wedding. Because she is very excited but also nervous, she did not sleep well last night. She was too busy thinking about all the details of the wedding and things that she needed to do and to remember the next day. So was it acute good stress or chronic bad stress? The answer is it is short-term good stress. This nervousness has a positive effect because it helps her prepare successfully for her daughter's wedding. When the wedding finally happens, she will relax and feel a sense of achievement. Stress is different for all of us. We all perceive stress in different ways. Therefore, we will react differently to the same situation. An event can be overwhelming to some, but exciting to others. For example, politicians, actors, singers, comedians, and public speakers truly might enjoy appearing on stage in front of huge crowds, but the same situation may provoke anxiety and fear in others. Your perception of a situation depends upon your personality type, resilience, life experiences, health status, and mental and emotional resources. I like the two pictures on this slide because on the left we have a young woman who is in front of a large crowd and appears to be relaxed and confident. And yet on the right we have a young boy who apparently walked up to the microphone and got stage fright. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. But you can't judge a book by its cover, and we shouldn't pressure someone that we think is animated and full of fun to do things that might actually be stressful for them. I remember when we had our 10-year high school reunion and we needed somebody to be the MC. We thought, oh, we'll get our class clown to get up there and do it because he's always so funny and he makes everybody laugh all the time. But you know what? It must have been stressful for him because he got up there and he absolutely froze. So we need to ask people how they feel about a situation before we automatically assume that they're going to be great at it. Let's talk about your body's reaction to stress. Many scientists consider stress as a reaction of our body to sudden changes in our environment. Just like animals, people need extra energy to stay and fight or run away when faced with danger. Our stress response can be life-saving in certain situations. Our body's normal reaction to danger is an increased heart rate, muscle tension, and high blood pressure. We might also have confusion, anger, fear, and sweating. Once the danger is over, our body usually recovers and we will feel rewarded for overcoming a challenge. Can you tell when you're experiencing stress? What are your personal warning signs of stress? Take a few minutes to think about how your body reacts to stressful situations. Does your heart rate increase? Do you get a bad headache? Recognizing your personal responses to stress can help you look more closely at situations that might contribute to you being stressed. Here are some common stress symptoms: difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite, frequent colds and infections, muscle tension and aches, increased substance use, crying spells, poor communication, constant worrying, feeling blue, irritability, and difficulty making decisions. People respond to stress differently, physically or mentally. Did you know that humans are the only species that worry themselves over imagined fears? I had never heard that before, but it makes a lot of sense. Symptoms can tell you to slow down and pay attention to what is going on in your life. Problems might develop if you ignore them. Health problems, disrupted relationships, burnout, depression, and decreased ability to care for ourselves or others. Making changes early to reduce stress is easier and more helpful than dealing with the problems if you neglect them. Waiting might cause recovery to take longer. Here is a chart that shows some of the sources of stress that people might experience later in life. Becoming a widow, changes in your health, financial uncertainty, financial strain, caregiving, loneliness, grief, retirement, and raising grandkids. Of course, this is not a complete list. There are many other sources of stress, no matter what your age. Again, I wish that we were together so that we could have a big conversation about this. But just think for yourselves. Can you think of any other ideas of what causes stress for older adults? What causes your stress? Let's make a list. Determining what is causing your stress is important for controlling it. So what causes you to be stressed? What situations produce changes in your body, feelings, and behaviors? So to the right of the slide is a handout called Factors Contributing to Stress, and this was actually put out by the North Dakota State University Extension Service. Your OSU Extension educator has a copy for you if you'd like to pick one up at the office, but I made it big enough on this slide that I think that you can do it from home if you really want to. So how this works is that you review the list and check the items on the list that you know are contributing to your personal stress. You might have several. You can even add ones that are specific to you that aren't listed on those blank lines on the right side of the form. Next, place a 1 and a 2 next to your top 2 stressors. These are the top 2 things that make you more stressed out than anything. Then, I want you to make plans to address these 2 items. Later, you can work on some of the others that you had marked, but don't get overwhelmed trying to work on more than 2 at a time. How does stress affect your overall health? Constant stress can lead to many diseases, such as sleep problems, heart disease, anxiety, digestive problems, and depression. Research has associated stress with a weak immune system. Because your immune system is responsible for fighting diseases and germs that attack the body, a person with chronic stress could become ill more often. Also, people who experience chronic stress may try to find relief from drugs, smoking, or alcohol. Although these types of stimulants provide a feeling of relief that lasts only for a brief period of time, for the long haul, a person might become addicted, causing the stress to worsen. What are your barriers to coping with stress? Identifying our warning signs and sources of stress are important, but it does nothing to reduce stress unless we take action. So let's go back to our worksheet that we did earlier, the one that's about your factors contributing to stress. So you marked all the ones that caused you stress and you listed your top 2, but if you don't take action, then it really doesn't do a whole lot of good just to identify it. So some of the common barriers that people have on taking action involve just simply not knowing what to do. But you can brainstorm ideas with your friends and your family, and you can come up with some great solutions. Some people tell themselves that things aren't going to change no matter what I do. But negative self-talk prevents us from taking action. Some people have unrealistic goals. Don't pick a solution that will be too involved, time-consuming, or expensive, because if your solution involves those 3 things, you probably won't do it. Some people feel that they don't have enough support, but you can reach out to others who can help you. There are even community resources that you can utilize. And other people just think that they'll do it later. But you need help now, so don't postpone. Now, what are some ways to cope with stress? One of the big ones is nutrition and eating healthy. Another is physical exercise. Do it daily because it creates brain changes that promote emotional well-being. Sleep is very important. You need to get 7 to 9 hours every night. Limit the amount of smoking that you do or the amount of alcohol that you drink. Financial management is another one. We all know that some of our biggest worries in life is our finances. So get those in order so that you don't worry. Remember to laugh. Laughter is the best medicine of all. Also, relax. Create a quiet scene for yourself. Read a book, listen to music, paint a picture. Do something that is quiet that you enjoy. And lastly, share your concerns with others. Work on your relationships. Make a personal action plan. Prevention is more effective than management because it is a proactive approach that allows you to change your living habits before you have serious health problems due to stress. You need to change your reactions to stress to avoid chronic conditions that affect your health. Small changes in your lifestyle will have a long-term benefit to your longevity and quality of life. It may take a while, but small steps can lead to significant change. Our bodies, minds, and relationships to other people and the environment are all interrelated. Therefore, no one strategy can make changes in every aspect of your life. We are unique individuals. Adopting someone else's strategies may not be successful for you. So develop a plan that addresses your stressors in life. Now, to the right of the slide is some suggestions on when you should seek help. Maybe it's too big for you to handle on your own. That is when, if you have chronic thoughts of doom and gloom, have feelings of helplessness or hopelessness, have experienced big changes in your sleep or eating patterns. Maybe you have impaired concentration, memory, and daily functioning, worsening relationship conflicts, increased use of alcohol or drugs, or have symptoms that have been continuing for 6 months without significant improvement. Remember, seek professional help from a physician, a counselor, or a social worker, or a psychologist for intense stress. One last thing to consider about stress is COVID-19. Remember to be kind to your mind. Here are some tips to cope with stress during COVID. Number 1, pause, breathe, notice how you feel. Number 2, take breaks from COVID-19 content. Number 3, make time to sleep and exercise. Number 4, reach out and stay connected. And number 5, seek help if you're overwhelmed or feel unsafe. Here are a few websites that you can go to for more information about COVID-19. Remember that the factors contributing to the stress in your life are unique to you, and the way that you handle stress should be unique to you. Stress is not a one-time event, and the way that you respond will need to be adjusted as your life experiences and abilities to cope change throughout your life. Remember, everyone experiences stress in some way. How you handle it can make a huge difference in your life. A lot of today's information was provided by a lesson written by Jane Strawman, who's a PhD in gerontology from North Dakota State University Extension Service. Her lesson was entitled Nourishing Your Mind and Body, Manage Stress for Better Health. Remember that you do have access to notes from this lesson and the worksheet that was used at your local OSU Extension office. Thank you for listening today. Hope to see you soon.